Okay, so I'm making sure this thing works. I've never done this before on YouTube. Now, if you're rewatching this video after it was done live, after it's all finished and said and done, skip ahead to where I pull the figures out. And we got a thumbs up already. Hello, viewer. By the way, my cat is with me. So if you hear meowing, there he is. So, okay, so let's get started, because we have some viewers. Hi, everything in the world. I'm going to start with Juro figures, alright? Juro pull string figures I'd like to start with. He's, how old is he? 17? He's an old man. But, so, this is the first one I'd like to show, because they're the most basic you can get. They're the easiest to buy. They're only $50. Let me pull that shade down real quick. Kind of looks like Shutter Island in here. Anyway, so they look like this. This is a W.C. Fields. Yeah, he's a great puppet, isn't he? They have a pull string, typically, when they're a basic model. They're not usually used as any kind of, like, on-stage ventriloquist figure. They're typically toys to, you know, learn the art and stuff. I have seen people use them. Some people can kind of make them work a little bit. You know, there's a technique where you can put your hand up inside the shirt. Also, I have a cough, by the way, so. And pull the string and move it around a little bit. Kind of works, but I don't recommend it. I used to do it, though. So that's really the most. There's a lot of places you can get them. There's JCPenney's magazines still do them. They've done them for years. You can get them from thrillthings.com. They're only $50. So if you're a young kid watching this video, ask your parents. Save up money they might make you do. Everything in the world. I'm 22. So the next guy I'd like to pull out was the first figure I ever had. He's a Mortimer figure I used to call Johnny. So he's right down here. He's a super deluxe character from thrillthings.com. I got him originally as a basic with a pull string right now. If I can get the head off the body, it's really challenging to get heads off. It's the problem with these particular figures. Get off. Now, the last time I did this on video, I edited all this out, and I can't when I'm on a live stream, so this is gonna take me a hot minute. Alright, I think we got her. No, we don't. Okay. Tell you what, I'm gonna do the alternative and show you inside the... Yep, I do have professional figures, and I will show them off pretty shortly here. Hi, Mr. Graves. Hold on. Having a little... There we go. Don't want to jam them up through the body. That's why it's so hard to do. So, your super deluxes work with the mouth trigger right there. It's kind of a comfortable trigger, actually. A lot of pro figures just have basic levers. This is your side-to-side eye control. They self-center when you release it, so they go back to center automatically. It goes back and forth. And then this lever on the back, this brass lever, does the raising eyebrows. So normally, you take your fingers, you move your thumb back and forth between the eyes and eyebrows. Yeah, they are comfortable. That's why they're so ideal to learn with, because they work a lot like a professional figure. They're not, but I've seen people perform with them full time, actually. So I don't think it's that much of an issue. I just wanted to do something more original when I got more experience. Next, I'm going to show you some FOLKMANIS puppets. These are kind of in the same grade as the basic puppets. They're typically children's toys, but they can be performed with. The first one I got was a red dragon. The one I have is a retired model. It's the bigger model. The one you see now is a smaller one, about 20, 30 inches long. I'll show them real quick to you. Also, I don't know how loud I'm talking on video to other people, so I'm just talking loudly and clearly. So typically you'd hold him like this, wag his tail, and well, that's good picture quality. The teeth are made of vinyl. He has a special tongue that's a sleeve for you to put your finger in, and you flick his tongue. I've never been able to do this correctly with this particular puppet. You flick it like that. And then he has rings inside the eyes that allow you to move his eyes around, which doesn't really work that good in my opinion. Yeah, these guys are kind of an investment, but they're worth it. They're beyond worth it. Wagging tail. So this guy measures about 48 inches. I mean, he's big. He's almost bigger than me, and I'm actually kind of a short person. I'm about 5'7" in person. So a lot of you are probably taller than me. In the let me get a quick drink of water here. That should fix me for a bit. The next FOLKMANIS I'd like to show is this parrot. I have two parrot puppets. I have this one, and then I have a professional AXTELL one that I'll be showing in a little bit. So this one, pretty nicely detailed. The beak is kind of like a vinyl-y material, so it is kind of hard to use. And then again, these guys are, toys. But, you can move them around like a pretty realistic parrot. If you hook fish line up to these wings and, have someone help you, like, get a hole in there and run it across, you could lift the wings, theoretically. I've never tried it, but you can. Hand enters through the bottom. This will cost you about $50 from FOLKMANIS's website. These are still in production. Pretty good puppet. I say. I'm just now getting my voice back from laryngitis, by the way, so if I sound a little bit smokier to some people that really know my voice, which would be creepy. And then this is the last FOLKMANIS I have right here, this little skunk. Little moving mouth, moving arms. This tail has a little, okay, this looks bad. It has a little hole to raise it so you can make him flap his tail. You can make him go to music, and you could have him singing, and which I've thought about doing before. These guys will cost you about $25. It's been years since I got this. So that I don't remember. That you'll have to check out on your own. Hey Ryan, good to see you. The next one, I'm going to be getting into these pro figures now. I'm going to start with Steve AXTELL's. The first one I'm going to show is typically in my adult shows. He's my Uncle Larry, and I'll grab him right over here. Everything's spread out all over the place in here, so it's kind of hard to reach things for me. So please forgive that I keep going off camera to grab things. Well, his glasses fell off because I didn't do the string thing yet with them. I'll explain that in a bit. But here's an AXTELL Ed Nerd puppet, and I use him as my drunk Uncle Larry. Oh yeah, it feels good to be here. Wait, where are we? We're on YouTube. Hello. So you can see the fine detailing in this puppet. Johnny, I retired from my shows because he was a tribute to Edgar Bergen, but I wanted to pursue 100% original shows. But I've thought about bringing back like a new version of him. I'm gonna talk about a character later that I'm working on with a friend. My friend is building the puppet. Yeah. Once this is all done, Ryan, it'll be completely uploaded to YouTube. I don't plan on deleting it or anything, so you'll see all the beginning, and you didn't miss too much yet. We're right in the start of it. So, This will cost you about $3.50, by the way. Not bad. AXTELL prices are really nice for the quality that they produce. The reason being, the puppets are made out of latex. They're not going to last forever. They last, on average, 10-15 years. There's some that are like 25 that still look great. Here's my professional parrot puppet. Professional? Okay. Safety hazard, safety hazard. Okay, stop. Okay. Anyways, this is the professional Steve AXTELL real MACAW. And you could tell he's a very realistic puppet. And the eyes are phenomenal. He really pops on stage. I have an Instagram account, and I have a photo of him. And I'm getting followed by parrot pages because they think he's real when they see him at first. I have an arm prop that he sits on, so it looks like he's perched on my arm. That prop is, I'm kind of tweaking it, getting it to not show, like, the mechanics and stuff. You can kind of see through it. But I'm working on that, and I might show it in a new video soon. Ah! No. Okay, stay away from the camera, okay. So, here's what you use to, oh no, I'm not Jeff Dunham material. Jeff Dunham's worldwide known and very famous, performs in big arenas. We'll see. No, I'm just kidding. This is how you take care of your AXTELLs. This is 303 Aerospace. You can order it from axtell.com. This goes on the latex every 3 months, and you just put one, you wipe it on, it's a wipe, and you do one coat on the rubber, and it'll last you many, many more years when you keep doing it consistently, which I do. Now, I just 303'd them, so I can't show it on video on how to do it, but it's pretty easy. The next one I want to show you, we're out of the AXTELLs now. I'm going to show you this one real quick. I'll show you this one. I built this one. He's a replica of a Frank Marshall Nosy figure. He's a professional figure. His body is down in the basement. It's a large walking body that's about as tall. It's a little bit shorter than I am, so I can't get it in this video. But he has a moving mouth. He has raising eyebrows on the back of the stick there. And then on these two levers, there's two levers here. He has individual winking eyes. Like, oh, Sol Mio. So he can sing. And, yeah, he can wink. So, he's pretty great. Pretty basic for a professional figure. I might eventually introduce him in my act as kind of a vaudeville routine, but oh, and then for Marshall Maniacs, he has a Marshall patch down below there, which conceals the slot, which is made out of chamois cloth. Now, the next one I want to show off is Soft Puppet. This is, remember earlier I was talking about a figure that I'm having made for me this year. This is another one by the same maker. This is by Charles Prouty. Charles Prouty, he made my perfection. This is George's wife. And George you will see shortly, by the way. So a very nice puppet. Charles makes them a little bigger than, say, like a Jet or a Marianne Taylor, which I like. They have to be visible on stage. It's great. What I like about this one's construction is there's a hole in the very bottom. It's a puppet, calm down. And so you can do like special puppetry videos and that kind of thing. At least I like to say so. I don't think it was intentional. The detailing is great. She has fingernails. How do they look, folks? So she's a wonderful puppet. She usually has curlers in her hair, but I'm having trouble keeping them in. I'll get them all fixed up for the next show. So I'll get her back down. So Charles is making me a new one. And I'm not going to reveal too much info, but he has to do with construction workers and he kind of oversees them, but he doesn't exactly know how to do his job. And I'm going to leave it at that. He's similar in personality to Johnny was. So we're just going to leave it at that because I want him to be more of a surprise. And so he won't be on YouTube until he's in the show, and I upload bits of the show. And the show is in August, by the way. So the next one I want to show you, since I just showed you Geraldine, is George. So we're on to the couple of the hard figures here. Oh, bumped his hand. Oh God, we're doing another one of these. Yeah, this is George. He's a Dan Pays ventriloquist figure. Look at the wonderful detailing that Dan Pays does. I apologize for that light. This window, I have the shades drawn and it's still bright. But yeah, George has a moving mouth, moving side to side eyes, raising eyebrows, and a stick out tongue. So I'm gonna show you the head stick controls. His is very easy to get off. Thank goodness, huh? I get a headache every time you do this. Alright, just take it easy. Just get the things out correctly. Yeah, nothing would be worse than me not being able to talk at your next show. Oh, I missed a lever. Hold on. Dan Pays levers I will discuss in a bit here when I can show you them. So Dan Pays figures work wonderfully. I love them, and they're economic. They're not $1,000 unless you get a special one. But he's got moving mouth on that lever. He's got raising eyebrows on that side lever there. It's a little bit, it's right about there. His side-to-side eyes are teeter-totter style. So you pull it down toward you for them to come toward you. It's like a blinker lever on cars, is how I think of it. You push up for them to go away from you if you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, it'll be opposite. Actually, no, it's not. Cool. But yeah. And then stick out tongue is this opposite lever of the mouth. And the mouth has to be open before you pull it, or else won't do anything. So yeah, so I'm going to show you the body a little bit, which I didn't do for Johnny. Lightweight body. George has an arm rod, because I do sometimes have him gesture during the show. I have him whisper to me and some rather snide comments. I typically have slots cut in the clothing to get your hand in there. So to show you, it's just kind of wood inside. It's got wood dowels. Get that open more. There we go. Wood dowels. Dan Pays puts his card in the bottoms of the bodies, which is not coming out on this video at all. But it's a really nice card. You might be able to see it on the after video. It's kind of hard to tell from the preview screen. I have the camera flipped toward me because so I can read comments and see what I look like on this video. Let me get this back in the body. And we're going to keep on trucking here. Ah, my legs went backwards, you idiot. No, sorry. So next I'd like to go kind of up the line of hard figures. I figured the middle of the video would be the best spot for them because I have some odds and ends, one for the end. So the next one I want to show you is an Albert Alfaro figure of Imaginarium Galleries. Albert no longer makes figures as of right now, so you won't be able to order one. The price range on them went from around $1,500 to $2,000. Mine was $1,500. Oh, and Dan Pays prices range from $495, and they go up. They're usually between $495 and $700, so they're not bad. Sheldon here. Oh, I didn't grab him right. There we go. Oh, Dad, I look good on camera. Yeah, you do. So Sheldon is created by Albert Alfaro of Imaginarium Galleries. He's got moving mouth, side-to-side eyes, and blinkers. I did a special thing with the head stick, so now he can kind of wink too, which I don't recommend doing because it does void the warranty. Ryan, I don't quite do this for a living yet, but I am working on that process, getting more and more bookings, and I do get paid for shows. Confidence is, I enjoy doing it. You know, it makes people happy and makes me happy to see other people happy. And I love acting. I love playing multiple characters, and this just does it for me. So now I'm going to show you his controls. I was going to have music playing during this, but I don't know why I didn't decide to. For this quiet part when I'm in these controls, I have to concentrate so I don't jam them up against the inside of the body. Let's see, do you have any tips on... I do. You do it with confidence. Do it like you're rehearsing. Rehearse a lot. I'm very big on rehearsing. Don't rely entirely on reading the script when you're... Like, read the script when you're rehearsing until you memorize the script completely. And once you know your script, rehearse heavily without it, and your show should go pretty good. If you have good writing, believable characters and such, I think you'll do good. So this guy's got, so the mouth is on the thumb on this one. I put this little pencil grip because a while back I burned my thumb, and for a while I didn't have a thumbprint. I have one now, so I'm okay without this, but I just left it on there. He's got side-to-side eyes. Albert does it on this kind of like dial. This is giving a way better picture than the old videos did. The blinkers are this lever here, which goes straight up and down. And then the wink is pushing it forward. So that works pretty uniquely. So yeah. That's how he makes it. Last time that we told that joke, the audience, they just sat there like this. It's the joke I do with that. And in the adult shows, he does a drunk joke instead. But we will not do that here in case there's, you know, younger kids watching. My nieces and nephew watch this video channel, so I keep it clean. Now I'd like to go top of the line here for hard figures. We all know this next guy. He lives in Michigan. He makes the high-end figures that everyone desires. He tends to take a while when he builds them, but you get the best quality for that long time you wait, and the wait is beyond worth it. So this next guy I'd like to show off is a Tim Selberg figure. Oh, look at thy beautiful face now. So, yeah, Tim Selberg figure. So he's got the slot jaw, upper lip sneer, working with the jaw. More of a close-up effect, in my opinion. Blinkers. If you push up on the lever, you can go wide. So he has a range of expression. And he has the sniffing nose feature, which is exclusive on Max and Reggie on his catalog. If you take a look, they're in his Living Puppets category. So I'm going to show you his head stick here. It's a phenomenal head stick because I have small hands, and Tim's figures are great with small hands. So it's going to take me just a sec here to... Just don't want to hit nothing. You really... The problem with these high-end figures is they don't use strings, so you can't flip the levers up. So you risk jamming the levers if you're not careful. You need to be 100% careful when you do that. And you know, for all the money you spend on these, Tim Selberg's figures start at about $2,000, and they can go up to $4,000 easily if you get enough extra stuff. This guy was about $3,000 through $3,100, somewhere in that range. So he's got the mouth on the thumb, right there. See how smooth that works? Very nice and quiet. He's got the upper lip sneer on this very side one opposite of the mouth. Yeah, they certainly are. And they're smaller a little bit than like Alfaros. They're about the size of a Dan Pays, so they're great to walk around with. And it's got the blinkers right there. And what I said earlier, pushing up makes them go wide. And then on the very back here, you got the sniffing nose. I don't know if it's a matter of like fortune. You just gotta work hard, and like if you have a day job, do a great job at your day job. You know, if you're a full-time ventriloquist, get a lot of shows, bookings, work on your marketing and such. It's kind of the secret of all this. So that's the head stick on these Selbergs, and look at that beautiful insignia there. Now onto the body here. Tim Selberg does hard cast bodies made out of like a resin material, so they're completely solid all the way. Good to see you, Mr. Graves. Check out this video when it's fully uploaded. The hands, very highly detailed, superb quality hands. Typically with Selbergs, the clothes slide kind of easily on the front of the body. So on mine, I put chamois cloth on the very front on the inside. But it's no big deal. It's easy to do. Oh, don't want that shown. I put an arm rod on this one because he plays piano on stage, and I don't want to be holding his wrist the whole time like in the older videos. So I put an arm rod on him. Yeah, lightweight body. You get what you pay for, typically, but Dan Pays are not bad figures either. Steve Barry even makes great figures. I don't own one, but they're his range about 300, 400. See ya, guys. So I'm gonna get him back in the body here. Give me about a minute here. There we go. Alright. Let me get another drink of water here. This is not easy on my voice doing this constant talking. And, you know, for a solid, this will probably be about 32 minutes long, I'll guess. If it's 32 minutes when it's uploaded, that's exactly what I guess. Now, onto the... We'll do the jet puppets and the Marianne first. So before I do the really oddball ones that I own, because I own a couple of very old ones. So Jet Puppets, very well-known soft puppet maker. I love her work. This is Cockroach. Cockroach! You know why they call me Cockroach? Why? Because I can survive the nuclear blast! Woo! Alright. He's my caffeine metalhead. But anyways, very nice detail on her puppets. She uses Muppet fleece material for the skin. You can see she's very creative at what she does. This was a stock puppet that she had at the convention that I bought right on the spot. I could just feel him being on stage with me. She does like foam inserts for the teeth. Very nice. She typically does fingernails on her puppets. Not all of them have it, but most do. She usually does pot bellies, which is pretty interesting. You know, it's just a pot belly. Nice tall figure. The height would he's probably about 40 inches tall. Rock on, dudes! Yep, that's Cockroach. And this is how you tell a jet creation, by the way. She does this for the mouth. She paints in the tongue and the uvula. There's always a uvula in a jet puppet. I don't know very many that don't. I've seen a couple that don't have that, but they're not common. I have one more jet puppet here. Now, Jet used to do full custom puppets. She does not do that currently. She just kind of makes them to sell them now. So this is when she still did customs. This is Kenny. Oh, hey dudes. Oh, well, he's got his bandana in his mouth. Yeah, man, it tastes like Geraldine, man. Alright, sorry. Yeah, I use him in my adult shows. So this is Kenny. He has a special feature, blinkers and wide eye, which are just kind of formed out of wire and extra fabric. But you can see what great detail, when I get this lighting off of him, what great detail she puts in these puppets. They look great. I love soft puppets and I love hard puppets, hard figures, but I tend to prefer the soft puppets for travel, and they're easier to use. He has a certain thing as a tattoo there that I'm not gonna say out loud on video. He's got peace signs, and he's got he has fight the man. That makes me laugh. He's about the size of Cockroach, same size, same pot belly. So yeah. And then he's got a custom outfit, actually. Yeah, they do all have their own personalities, Ryan. For instance, this guy is totally out of it in the shows. He's in another dimension, and I'm going to leave it at that. George is grumpy and aggressive. So is his wife. They argue on stage when she comes out of the trunk. Sheldon, smart alecky, but he's a geek. And then Lucky, the Selberg, he's the newer one, so not a lot of people know his name yet. He's smart alecky, but he's a snobby rich kid. He's not a nerd. So I'm going to put this guy back, and we're going to grab the Marianne Taylor. This guy's kind of the charmer in my shows. Old folk shows are usually his hit. But, yeah. He used to be a corrupt congressman, and I might still have an old video of him. I don't know. His act used to not work out when he was that, so I changed him to a full-time Rat Pack impersonator. Send me the pillow that you dream on. Yeah. His name used to be Monty, but since I turned him into a Rat Pack person, I called him Mr.Wonderful. Terry Fader has one named Monty, so I don't want any copyright risk. And Mr. Wonderful is the name of a Dean Martin song, so that's the other reasoning for his name. But yeah, wonderful puppet. Marianne Taylor's range about 600, 650. Jet's about 500. But very nice puppet. Very nice cartoony look. They're kid friendly when, you know, they're not scary looking when they gaze out in the audience. That's a big thing that family-friendly entertainers like myself talk about all the time. It's a very big thing. What's next here? Now we just got the oddball figures. I thought this would take an hour. The first one I'd like to show is one I built. He's never been in a show yet. I don't know if he will be in a show. I don't know. I bought him. I built them just kind of for myself. But I love clowns, as well as ventriloquists and puppeteers. This one is a pretty odd one. The figure I'm going to show after this is a Tommy Knots by Brian Hamilton. Sorry about my throat. I made him from a mold of him. So, he's a little hobo clown, charming little guy. Oh, yeah. I might use him on like a mini walk around before a show or something. He's not dressed yet, that's the biggest thing. And he has posable arms instead of floppy arms, so you know you could pose him for photos, and I think I have a photo of him somewhere. But I'm gonna show you his head stick here. So we can get him off the body. He has a very special mechanism. So mine doesn't use it's just with your thumb, so it could be used on either hand. This basically just goes up in the head. You don't touch this when you use them. So he has no string, so you never have to worry about the string breaking, because the thing with these little figures is that their heads are not, you know, you have to reopen the head, cut it open. They don't typically have access doors like big ones do. So if you have an old one, which I'm about to show off, yeah, if you have an old one, you might have to send it to a professional to repair, or attempt it yourself if you know what you're doing. Oh, sorry, Max, the parrot. kicked him over a little bit. So this one is by Brian Hamilton. He cost me $6.50. He's from 1977, the year. Yeah, I did a little restoration on this guy. He has a Marshall patch, which I didn't blend the paint correctly yet. Let me get this camera away from this window. There we go. Works a little better. But yeah, just mouth control. He's wood carved, by the way. Very nice puppet. Yeah, moving mouth only. I'll show you his head stick if I can. He's permanently attached to the body with this elastic, but he has just that mouth control there. Just like the Hobo clown. I based it off this one, so Tommy Knots. He's a side extra in a couple of my videos, but he's never been on stage or at my shows. Next one I'd like to show is one that pops up on eBay pretty often, and he's pretty mysterious. He's by Ralph Freundlich. Sorry, my throat's in kind of bad condition. His name's Dapper Dan, or Dummy Dan. I'm not an expert on this line of figures, so I don't know a ton about these ones. For some reason his legs don't bend. He's meant to just kind of sit like that. But he has a pull string to move his mouth. He was recently restored by me. He was in much worse condition. So yeah, he cost me $40. I bid on him. They're not worth very much. They're very common. He's from somewhere between the 20s, the 1920s and the early 30s. So he's about 90 something years old as of this video. 10 years from now, they'll be about 100 years old. 100 years old. Let me get a drink of water real quick. Yeah, this is the first time I did a YouTube live stream, and it's going pretty good. Small audience, but it's cozy. By the way, I had the singing fish because something's coming soon for singing fish. I have one coming in the mail and another one you'll want to stay subscribed for. And the last one I'd like to show you here is he's the one I restored besides that one I just showed you. He is from the 1940s. I paid $200 for him when I got him at a thrift shop. His name is Willie Toke. Willie Toke, he sure will. Yeah, Willie Toke. So he's a very old figure. He's from between the late 1930s and mid 1940s. He might be from mid 1940s though, based on like his worth and what I've heard about him from professionals who restore these for a living. They know a little bit more about these ones than I do. But I can show off his head stick here because he has one. So I didn't completely restore down here. It rubs the inside of the body. It would have been pointless to do. But he has this ring pull for the moving mouth. You pull that ring. And he also has an alternative neck cord and pull string. So 2 ways to control this one. So pretty unique little guy. Inside his mouth, he uses a piece of bungee to close the mouth. He doesn't have a spring like other ones do. I'd say 200's about the worth on these. The body's very weird. It has soft hands, even though he's a hard puppet. He has they're like some kind of cloth material stuffed, sewn together. The sailor outfit, I'm not sure if it was original on him because these are always portrayed with wearing suits. They have if you watch my restoration video on him, I show an article page that I have, and it shows the original versions of him for sale from the 40s. They're not for sale now. Just so you guys know. On the inside, the body's made out of like a pressed what would you call that? Like a pressed hardboardy kind of material. If I can get the light in there. And that's all it is. It's a solid brown color. I mean, it's kind of hard to see on video. And then he has that ring in the bottom, which receives the head stick, and makes it so his head can't go like all over the place. And that is real wood on the bottom. Nice big thick piece of wood. And then the clothes are pinned on, as far as I know. This shirt is pinned on. These pants can come off though, and he has both his original shoes too. So yeah, I thought you folks might want to see most of my collection. I can show you right here actually, these other ones. Just because they're duplicates, so I didn't use them on video. The Willie Talk, the Danny O'Day, and the Charlie McCarthy, all three are pull string ones. The Danny O'Day was brand new. I got him at a Goodwill store, and he's new. The Charlie McCarthy is from the 1960s. He's an older one, slightly smaller than the one you would buy on throwthings.com. Worth about $50, as well as the Danny O'Day. The Willie Talk is from the 1970s. He's worth about $50 or $60. Not sure which. You might have seen those Rockstar cans. Those are Cockroaches. Lucky's piano. A couple of my stage props. Geraldine's hair curlers are up there. And look, Buck. But yeah, and then I have a couple of odds and ends marionettes. These are, I don't know if you'd say toys, because they're very old, made out of like a porcelain material. Very special. I got them at a thrift store. And then I have TETO the Clown. He's from, he was shown in the Puppet Master movie, Axis of Evil. He's from the year 1950. So, he's an old marionette. So yeah, that's most of what I got. I have a couple things I'm building here and there. I don't intend on building very often, I don't do custom orders either. I just kind of build them as I go and sell whatever I got that I built, and hopefully sometime soon I have a couple to do. Now I can kind of stand here and chat with you guys too. So whoever doesn't like watching chatting can leave the video now. There's nothing else to show. Yeah, the fear of puppets. It's a lot of it's the media. You see like them coming to life in horror films, and you see demon possessed ones. I've never had them move on their own, and I don't even know if there is a such thing as one that moves on its own, to be honest. I believe in ghosts, and I sort of believe in demons, but I don't think they would take the form of a puppet to move around on its own. That's a bunch of crap. But yeah. I think the fear comes from the uncanny valley theory. If something looks human but looks off at the same time, it tends to creep you out. If you've ever seen like any weird video thumbnails. I brought this guy in the store once to paint match him, and people found him creepy. I believe because of, like, the eyelashes, and he has kind of a weird look to him. I don't think he's creepy at all. I love this one. A couple of people, not very many, find Selbergs to look a little creepy because they tend to have more realistic eyes. You see that? They're glass eyes. They're like glass eyes. He uses wood eyes that are coated, and this angle is weird. This guy I've never had a creepy complaint about. He just has a nice soft face, and I mean, he's in the kids shows too. Kids love him. A couple of people found Johnny to be a little creepy because he's got the big eyes, realistic. A lot of it has to do with the eyes and the uncanny valley thing behind it. And some people are ridiculous and find clowns creepy. But the thing about people that are scared, sorry about my throat. The ventriloquist community is pretty dang big right now, actually. I mean, it can only grow. Darcy just got famous, and so now there's a lot of kids aspiring. When Darcy gets older, if she sticks with it, she'll more than likely have a TV show just based on her level of fame. She's like the new Sherry Lewis, I've been hearing. Sherry Lewis had Lamb Chop, by the way. So, I mean, very good things are coming for Darcy when she gets older, and if she sticks with ventriloquism, which more than likely she will. I mean, I've talked to her before, and yeah, this community can, I mean, it's pretty big. It declined in the 1970s because all you've seen was like, you know, cheeky boys, which would be kind of like Sheldon, but without the nerd aspect. So they're kind of like, I'm not bashing it. I'm not bashing cheeky boys at all, because these guys are technically both a cheeky boy. But a lot of people felt that they were carbon copies. So a lot of people in the 70s were thinking, you've seen one ventriloquist, you've seen them all. And so these days are a creative renaissance for ventriloquists. I mean, you'll see anything now. You'll see policeman characters. You'll see, I know a guy that does a high school principal character. Yeah, Jeff Dunham did revive it. Love Jeff or hate him, he did revive ventriloquism, and he's partially responsible for it being cool again. So I like Jeff, and I like his his specials. I don't really do like vulgarity in my shows, or I do a bit of adult humor in the adult shows, but it's nothing bad. I mean, it's more PG than PG-13, but Jeff is someone I do look up to because of his ability. I mean, he goes on stage and he has this tremendous presence. Love him or hate him, you have to admit that. What was I saying about... Oh, I was talking about Darcy. Yeah, if Darcy sticks with it, she's going to be the biggest. Because Jeff Dunham is... Yeah, Jeff hasn't been performing with Jose this past year or two. I think he's retiring him. He just did a new character named Seamus the Irish Baby, which I'm not going to reveal too much info out of respect for him. He wants people to buy or to see the Netflix special to see that character. So I'm not going to say too much out of respect. Terry Fader just got a couple new characters. He got Michael Jackson. He posted it publicly now, so I can say it. I kind of knew it was coming. And Paul McCartney. So Terry's doing great. I'm seeing him this June again. I've seen him a couple times, and I've met him in person once. Great guy. He's very nice. He's one of the friendliest people you can meet in the community, honestly. Yeah, so I think that kind of covers all the figures. That's all my main ones, and a couple of the ones I don't even use on stage. So, yeah, ta-ta for now, guys. Yeah, he has Donald Trump. I don't know too much about what he does with them. I know he sang Another Brick in the Wall by Pink Floyd with them, which was pretty genius. I've thought about doing a Donald Trump, but I stray away from politics when I perform. I hate politics a lot. I don't take either side or anything. But I'm not neutral. I don't want to share too much, though, about that. Sorry. But yeah. That's the right way to think. In my opinion, it's all over the news. But anyways, folks, I'm going to head out. Great talking to you guys. Great showing off these figures. I wanted to get them all on one video. Ta-ta for now, folks.